So welcome everyone. So Enugu State Government is about to embark on the biggest demolitions you can think of in the history of Enugu State. And it's not because the governor wants to. I mean, it's okay for him to demolish them, but because it's necessary to really expand the roads because of the growing population around the Enugu State. People are coming in, then there needs to be some expansion. I'm sure that's the reason why these demolitions are actually going to start taking place. All right. If you remember the Abakpa axis that used to be very tight, there's virtually, if you want to be sick for the day, just try and pass through that Abakpa axis. That's Abakpa Road Market. Like you are going to Nsukka. I'm sure that you are practically going to sleep there if you're going. If you're going to use the road through the rush hour period. The same thing with the mornings and even in the afternoon. It's a no-go area. So the governor is saying that it can't continue like that because of the influx of people. Beyond just the influx of people, the market is expanding every day, and the infrastructure is now too tight. So there needs to be some huge expansion, and so he's embarking on a very huge deconstruction of that place. And reconstruction of that place. So some of the markets and buildings that are located in that axis and shops will be demolished all the way down to Nsukka. Same thing with Penoks. Penoks, we've also seen how difficult it is if you're trying to navigate from Abakpa into Transekulu and then also going towards the Nsukka axis. So it's difficult navigating that place because of how the four direction, if not for anything, that should have been the best place to call four corners, because people coming from are going into Transekulu, it's difficult for them to cross over because there are people coming from Nsukka also. They're trying to also navigate towards the GRA, and then there are people also coming from the GRA and inside town are trying to navigate into their homes, into Transekulu, Abakpa, and it's difficult. That place is usually very, congested, and so because of that, he's looking to do something extraordinary, and that's the reason why the demolitions are happening. And so the message has been sent out via a letter. I don't know if you've seen that letter. Let me put it up. Final notice of demolition, and it's urgent, 31st January 2025. This is to inform you that the state government is commencing the demolition of marked structures along the 44.1 kilometer Nike Lake Road dualization project. That's Penoks, Nowas, Ugwogo, Nsukka dualization, Abakpa Nike, Nsukka Junction, and also the marked structures along the 21.5 kilometers Enugu Airport Road Flyover Bridge, Eke Obinagu Owo Junction, Amechi Idodo, and Ebonyi Border within 24 hours. You are hereby advised to remove all your belongings and vacate the premises with immediate effect to avoid damage and or loss of life. Please direct all complaints to the Land Property Reconciliation and Compensation Committee, Abuja Building, Government House, Enugu. Your prompt compliance is advised, as this serves as a final notice. Ngozongene PRO, Enugu State Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. So it is happening. So if you have a friend, a brother, or sister who's got a building around that area, the government have also said that they're going to pay compensation if you have buildings on that axis that are quite verifiable. So they already tell you where to go and meet their officials so that they could have some documentation to, give you compensation. I really don't know how the people are going to feel having to receive this information. If I had a building on that axis and it's marked for demolition because of this construction of the road, I would feel sad. Even if you tell me you're going to pay me money in compensation, I will really feel sad, because again, we understand how difficult it is to even get a house here in Enugu right now. It's tough. Those who sold their properties like 5-6 years ago now, I know right now that they are regretting selling it, because that particular building has skyrocketed because of inflation, because of the devaluation of the currency, and so much. There are persons who are right now going to Abakpa to look for properties to even rent for 2 years with just 2 rooms. They're telling you 1 million naira. it's that tough. And even if you find some places you can't even see, and when you see, they're telling you numbers that are unbelievable. So I don't know how this would affect the housing deficit already existing in Enugu State, because that's just my personal issue with this. People whose shops will be demolished will start looking for money in compensation. I will really feel sad, because again, we understand how difficult it is to even get a house here in Enugu right now. I mean, it's tough. Those who sold their properties like 5-6 years ago now, I know right now that they are regretting selling it, because that particular building has skyrocketed because of inflation, because of the devaluation of the currency, and so much. I mean, there are persons who are right now going to Abakpa to look for properties to even rent for 2 years with just 2 rooms. They're telling you 1 million naira. It's that tough. And even if you find some places you can't even see, and when you see, they're telling you numbers that are unbelievable. So I don't know how this would affect the housing deficit already existing in Enugu State, because that's just my personal issue with this. People whose shops will be demolished will start looking for another shop. You know how difficult that is. People whose homes will be going down, and whose businesses will be going down. I mean, even if you have the money, sometimes it's not even about the money this time. It's about where are you going to get it? Where are you going to rent? Where is it even available? Given the customers that you have and all of those things. So I just wish that at the end of the day, whatever it is that the governor is trying to do, which is expanding the road to double lane, would serve more than what is existing. Because again, the city cannot really remain like this forever. In fact, you have to go through that road in order to understand what people are going through when they are passing that road through to their houses. You would swear that you would never go through that road. One of the roads actually leads to where I live, and I know how harrowing. Sometimes I actually have to stay beyond the time I usually stay in the office, just so that I can beat whatever traffic that's going to be building up at that time. So I just wish that it is quick enough, and then that place returns to normalcy. I can imagine the destruction. I mean, how that place would look really an eyesore for a while before you start seeing some of the construction happening. But I mean, on a large scale, if you put it, weighing it on all sides, if we have those who are genuine owners of those properties being demolished giving compensation, adequate compensation, I think if you want to weigh it truly, it's about time that those roads are expanded, and no better time than now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. You can also drop your thoughts. If you think the demolition is called for and it's needed, let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. I appreciate it. So, but if you want to go repair phone now, where it is if you go repair phone now?
Phone village.
Eh?
Phone village.
Eh?
Phone village.
For where?
No heaven.
No heaven. Phone village.
The only phone is the repair for that.
Do they repair or do they say?
They say for there, they repair.
Phone village. That is smart to know. Good. What you go do? To see what we can. I go that place. Since that place, that place is the third pass live Liberty, ba?
You know, I know the workman. No, my phone car on my side. Then you go see any no type of phone you go see. So you have people they work for there. If you read them, they know say yes. That place there. No, I got my side.
Better road, one expand the road.
Jeba ka aje. Mana wa ya wo.
Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Okay, so I do not know whether you've been following some developments in the Enugu states lately. The bus terminal is one of the major construction, you would say. Many persons have said that these governments have not really done anything. I'm talking about the current administration of Pitamba. The government have not really started the construction and finished the construction. The road beautification and dualization that you are seeing are just basically what people have done, what governors in the past have done, and he's just recoating it, repainting and the likes, which is true to some extent. You would say, okay, the 260 smart schools. Not all of them are complete. There are some that are complete. There are some are not complete. At least the one in Owo, and this one that is complete. That's in the governor's village. So the PHPs too. That's the primary health centers. Are actually 260 of them also are not yet complete. There are a few of them that are actually on the 97%, phase of completion. But this is not this particular video is not basically about those projects. I'm talking about what the governor started from the scratch and what is about to finish, which is the bus terminal. There are 4 bus terminals that has been under construction since the administration took off. The Nsukka bus terminal, the Oweta bus terminal, and of course the Garigi bus terminal. I think there are 4 of them Abakpa bus terminal. So I remember the 4 of them. So for God's sake, the reason for the construction of those bus terminals, I mean, if there's anything that somebody would really appreciate is this particular bus terminal, because it will help us decongest the amount of persons who go into Ubete, who go into about those places to either shop or either use it as transit point. We know how difficult it is, even passing through Ababa on a very good day. And not just Ababa, all of those places that we have bus terminals. God help you, you are caught, say during evening time or even the morning time, the morning rush hour, or even in the afternoon, because I know I have tried to drive through that path going from my former office towards the prisons. Jesus Christ is Lord. I almost started swearing for myself. You can imagine the amount of persons I must have sworn on, trying to get through that particular path. And it was so difficult, it was so sudden. And I know 1 or 2 or 3 of you watching this video, or even all of you watching this video, must have had that experience passing through that access. If you haven't had an experience in Abakpa, in Ubeta, you must have had an experience in Abakpa. Abakpa's own is world-class closure. There's nothing you can tell me. Even Lagos is learning in that Abakpa axis. You want to go through from town, linking Abakpa, passing through Abakpa Market into Nike to T Junction. Forget it. You're going to sleep there. Is it Gariki or is it Nsukka? We know how difficult those places are. So the construction of that bus terminal would afford everyone the opportunity to know where they're headed. We all know the problem. People park in places they're not supposed to park when they're dropping people going to the market or going to their shops, or maybe using that as a transit point. And people selling right on the road, of those market, those areas, those 4 areas that has been mentioned. So with the construction of these latest bus terminals, at least we can tell everybody to, we know that these bus terminals have a location. Go in there and do your transaction, or join your bus and move from there out. Nobody will be seen on the road. At least you will know that, we would have some sanity on that road, especially Abakpa, that is right in the middle of town. I'm not saying Gariki is not in town, or Abakpa is not in town. These are 2 big places where people flock into every single day. And so having some sanity in that area would go a long way. Now, having said that, I just want to point your attention. For those who haven't seen that video, I'm sure you must have seen the video. I've been explaining it since I started talking. Now, I want to bring your minds back to what happened in 2024. This is 2025, right? In 2024, sometime in June, the APC chairman, Ugwogo, had castigated this government. Now, I want to bring it out from this one. I want you to watch this video. When the construction of that Abakpa, specifically not Abakpa now, Ubeta bus terminal was constructed, there was a press conference that was made by Ugwogo. I don't know if you saw that video. If you haven't watched that video, I will play that video for you to watch. Now, that video, he called our station where I worked. He called us and he did a press conference stating that the governor was embarking on land grabbing because of these constructions. This is the reason for this video. This is all the things I spoke about. This is the main reason for this video, because I want us to open our minds. Because right now we're beginning to see numbers, people aligning and realigning, and the 2027 elections around the corner. Now, he made a press conference about the fact that this man is embarking on land grabbing, that he even likened it to Ebano family, that this is a kind of style that Ebano used to have when he went out demolishing things and then grabbing people's land. And when he grabs it, he says it's for the government, for the good of the people, and then he sells it to his cronies, or gifts it away, or even takes it as his own. Now watch this video. I will be back afterwards.
Shopping complex with them. Mba is yet to construct any single public building in the state. Yet he's busy destroying existing buildings and businesses constructed by individuals before he was born. Yet he has not fulfilled 5% of the electoral promises he made to Enugu State. Rather, he's busy obfuscating the state by going on this spree of destruction. We have always suspected that Peter Mba's government was an unmitigated disaster. But with recent development, it's now obvious to all doubting Thomases in Enugu that this government has no plans for the citizens of the state. However, we decided to make a press statement after 1 year of silence to inform the general public that Peter Mba has failed woefully
and should account to the state for the over 470 billion naira that he has collected in a year. Where is this money? Where are the projects this money is supposed to be used for? The state owe it as a duty to know what has happened to this humongous revenue and what has it been used for within the 1 year of Peter Mbah's bull in a China-ware government, where his achievement is engaging in sophistry, in casuistry and paralogism with intent to bamboozle the ignorant folks of Enugu State. What is called tax in Enugu State has become extortion of sorts under the present administration, ranging from land rent, property tax, cost of lifting a plot of land, sales tax, income tax, rates and levies. And the way government goes about collecting these taxes is brutal, including shutting down businesses that employ thousands of people in a very heartless and mean manner. However, a state of emergency that was made up to break our silence is the wanton, the unbridled, the callous and terrorist Gestapo-style destruction of private homes, private motor loading bays, over 100 warehouses, a burgeoning industrial cluster of over 200 palm kernel processing plants, which is the biggest supplier of PKO in the entire eastern region. 10 chemical producing companies that were built in the warehouses that were built in the 50s and 60s by UTC, by SUA, by Chris Chemist, by Maduka and Sons, by Ibomene family, by Famho Associate, by Hodges Engineering Company, by Dizzy Oil Company. We will not fail to even know the banks that establish viable branches here like FCMB, Eco Bank, transport companies that are doing very well, Onisha South, Eastern Mass Transit, Chisco Mass, Romchi Mass Transit, and even banks like our Community Bank. And over 300 shops were completely destroyed. And the most painful of it is the destruction of Osisa Tech Polytechnic, the biggest and foremost polytechnic in Enugu State. In spite of the fact that the owner, Reverend Father Ede, was able to secure a court order stopping the demolition, the governor ignored that order. This is the only government that has no motherless babies home. The government has no orphanage. Yet orphanages, motherless babies that were built here in the 50s by Red Cross have been destroyed. It is alleged that no less than 10 persons died during the destruction of these properties because he came out, it was sudden. Even where people were still sleeping, their buildings were pulled down. We would want Nigerians to note that what is going on in Enugu State is another land grab scheme. Because when you look at the massiveness, you know that this is purely a land grab system. This was the same tactics used in land grabbing Ikenga hotels, WTC, IMT Rectors Village, the land zoned for Rangers Stadium, and even land meant for the conference hall, which was initiated by Samson Omera administration. These heritage sites, which Enugu inherited from Eastern Region government, belongs to all Igbos in Enugu State. Therefore, Igbos should rise up and protect their heritage sites. The problem we have had with PDP governors right from the start is that they destroyed the GRA in Enugu. Enugu State governors, past and present, and the only governors that when in office, they will forcefully take over people's land. It doesn't happen in Anambra. It doesn't happen in Ebonyi. It doesn't happen in Imo. It doesn't happen in Abia. It's only happening in Enugu. And no investor will invest in a state where this kind of demolition takes place so often. And in 1975, when the military administration wanted to rebuild main market, they gave the traders, they relocated the traders to what is known as Enugu Relief Market, now called New Market area. That market was established for displaced main market traders who went there to open a new market, and the rebuilding of main market started. And by 1982, it was completed, and those traders came back and we allocated their shop. That's how a reasonable man runs a government, not through mean, callous ways. I've warned these people of Enugu State that those that have emotional attachment to Agberoism should not be in power. It's only an Agbero man that will enter government and he's thinking of motopark. We also call on all those whose businesses and properties were destroyed to seek redress and make sure they get commensurate compensation for their destroyed businesses. And we pledge to fully support them. The demolition of Holy Ghost Railway, Abara Avenue axis, Gariki, Ababa Market, and Ogige Market has led to untold financial and psychological hardship on affected families, economic decline due to loss of revenue and jobs, deteriorating living conditions characterized by increased poverty, social unrest, increased crime and loss of goods and services. Governor Mba must not demolish other planned areas, parks and markets marked for demolition. We call on the Federal House of Reps. We call on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the National Assembly, to invoke its powers to set up an investigative panel of inquiry to this land, to stop this land grabbing scheme and make sure commensurate compensation is paid to all the landowners whose properties were destroyed.
Now, fast forward 7 months after, because this happened in the month of June, July or so. I'm wondering what will be going through the mind of Ugochukwu Agbala right now when he passes through that place and sees this gigantic construction of these 4 bus terminals in Gariki, in Abakpa, and of course in Nsukka. I'm wondering what we'll be going through, especially with that one in Ogwete, because I know that he stood on that ground at Ogwete and said it's a vast land and the governor is trying to grab the land and that he was going to pay, he's doing like his boss did, grabbing people's land and then selling it and then also building estates. Now, I want you to also look at how these things play. So imagine the amount of persons who have listened to this video, who have heard this video, who have broadcast this video to their friends, to their cronies, and running with the narrative that the governor is just demolishing people's properties or demolishing shops to grab the land. Imagine that. So imagine that this particular bus terminal has not been constructed up until now. I'm sure that by now, everybody will be thinking, well, it's true afterwards. So I'm trying to bring forth sometimes the deceit. And right now, this is not even being affiliated to any political party or affiliated to anybody. Sometimes people run to the press to push a narrative that may deceive people. This particular video was done 7 months ago. Was this place being destroyed? Yes, it was destroyed, but because it was destroyed because there needs to be a bus terminal. And people also receive compensation. Yes, there are some persons who would say, oh, well, they didn't receive compensation. But there are people who were verified and were paid compensation. Would I be here and tell you as everybody that got compensation? I don't know. I don't have the numbers. But people who were verified were paid to leave that location. People who were verified and that they own those shops, who are bona fide owners of those locations. Because there are people who just come in and own a place because nobody is there. They own a place and they live there. They create a family there, and then when they live there for years, and the owners don't come, it feels like theirs. A friend of mine was even telling me a story recently. He was saying that the house that he built in Emene, he hasn't finished it, like still uncompleted, but roofed. That he went there one day, just came into town, stepped in there one day, and saw people living in his house. He was wondering, like, excuse me, is this not the house I built or something? Apparently, he went in there and I was asking them questions about who gave them the opportunity or the audacity to live in his house. And they were telling him that, oh, there were artisans who didn't have an accommodation, who didn't know that. Apparently, they decided they've been there for 2 years because he had not even come into Enugu for more than 3 years. So he came in and then he was asking them, and they begged and they said this is who they were, that they were just looking for a place to be at. They don't have any place, and this place was open. They came in and they decided to stay inside. These things happen. People just come in, claim a place, and they live for years, sometimes even 10 or 15 years, and they claim that it's theirs. And okay, tell them to provide documents for those properties. They won't be able to. So it is possible that those people that were staying there who haven't received their compensation really didn't have, any story recently. He was saying that the house that he built in Emene, he hasn't finished it, like still uncompleted, but roofed. That he went there one day, just came into town, stepped in there one day, and saw people living in his house. He was wondering, like, excuse me, is this not the house I built or something? Apparently, he went in there and I was asking them questions about who gave them the opportunity or the audacity to live in there in his house. And they were telling him that, oh, there were artisans who didn't know, who didn't have an accommodation, who didn't know that. Apparently, they decided they've been there for 2 years because he had not even come into Enugu for more than 3 years. So he came in and then he was asking them, and they begged and they said this is who they were, that they were just looking for a place to be at. They don't have any place, and this place was open. They came in and they decided to stay inside. These things happen. People just come in, claim a place, and they live for years, sometimes even 10 or 15 years, and they claim that it's theirs. And okay, tell them to provide documents for those properties. They won't be able to. So it is possible that those people that were staying there who haven't received their compensation really didn't have, any documents showing that they own that location. I don't know. This is just me because we interviewed people who say they have received payment for compensation for destroying their shops, destroying their homes, because they wanted to do certain construction that is for the benefit of the greater good of the people of Enugu. I mean, if you got the compensation, you can go on with to do something else. I mean, there are governments who would do that, destroy people's properties, destroy people's shops, and do nothing for you. They won't do anything. They'll tell you, go to hell, and when you go to court, you'll be in court for donkey years and nothing would happen. But, I mean, we've seen that play. I'm not saying that from the premise of, because I'm a media executive. I know these things. At least I interviewed a few persons who claim they've received compensation for their shops being demolished. So what am I trying to say in essence? That watch out for politicians who would use certain things, certain misdemeanor, create some kind of stare, throw it to you, and then because maybe it is showing that truly it is, because again, everybody will see that there was actually destruction happening. But then what happens after the destruction? There's always a way to skew a narrative to make you believe something that is wrong, to make you believe or make you antagonize people just because you're trying to score cheap political points. That's exactly what this video is about, really. So if you are not the kind of person who discern, who want to, for instance, double check, this information that has been thrown out, you fall prey for some of this cheap, skewed information that's given by political actors. Political actors is what they are. I mean, if there's a way you can even skew it in a bit, you could call them political nolly actors, because they are Nollywood dramas. It's just that they don't really have, it's not scripted and well articulated like you would see and watch in Nollywood. Because they're just acting. You see the drama. See the English he was even speaking. You see the drama that he was trying to create, just because a government is trying to establish something for the greater good of the people, and he thought that, hey, that this is an opportunity to score a cheap political point. And truth be told, he scored those points because at that time there was this high rising noise. There was this huge noise in Enugu. This man is destroying things. He's trying to grab land. Opposition latched on it. And here we are, 7-8 months after. We are 99%. Nsukka is 100% done. Obete is around 98% done. Gariki is also around 98% done. I mean, the next few days or weeks, that place will be open for business, and at least we would have some fresh air along those axes. At least people would not be stuck on traffic for hours for places that you would go to. I mean, Enugu is not a big place. Enugu, you can't say Enugu is so large to say you cannot get to every place around the 3 local government areas that you could say the highbrow area, Enugu North, South, and East. I mean, it's not a very big place. Within an hour or so, you can touch the metropolis. Yes, you can touch metropolis, and I don't see a reason why people would be stuck in traffic because you are going from one location to another. You're stuck in traffic for hours just because there's no proper bus terminal and people are selling on the road, and you have people who really don't care about other people's feelings or where they're headed to, and they get into that mix. So I don't know what you think about this. Let me know what your thoughts are. I really love to hear from you. All right, thank you. I appreciate you. Endeavor to like and subscribe to this channel for very fantastic content like this. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So have you seen the new primary healthcare facility being established by the Pitamba administration? I don't know how much time you have. I know everybody is just going around trying to make ends meet without even checking what's going on around them. Beyond the smart schools have been the sing song of this administration. I don't think the attention has been given to the primary health facilities that the current Pitamba administration is putting out. I don't think there's been that attention given to it the way that the smart school has been, put out through, content projections. This is not in any way trying to promote the administration. I also have my own personal reservations about the administration of Pitamba, but I just wanted to show you guys some pictures, some videos possibly about the PHCs. I know you must have seen the smart schools, the pictures, videos. The one in Owo is already, working, but there is a plan that all of the smart schools will be ready at least between now and September, so that people can start using these smart schools to learn. It's no longer going to be a thing of it's been constructed, 21 has been completed, 30 is remaining. So we're talking 260 primary health facilities, just like we have 260 smart schools, because it's one in each ward. Enugu actually has 260 wards throughout the 17 local government area, and so each one would be in one ward. Many persons have said it's not going to be it's not going to be much, because I mean, think about it, a per ward for a government school, so we still need private institutions to get into that space of bringing education, but it's going to be a very, very huge competition to private schools. I do not know how many private schools we have that are smart. There are private schools, but there are private schools that are not smart. You can even ask yourself, how many private schools even teach coding? Just coding, just ordinary coding. How many schools do it? So it will be a huge upgrade if we're able to get that done. But this is not about the smart schools. I want to specifically talk about the primary health facilities. In case you haven't seen them, I have some pictures and some videos. But beyond that, I do not know if you also noticed that the executive director of the National Health Program came to Enugu in October last year to visit Pitamba. I mean, the pictures are showing. And there was something he said that was quite profound. He says that aside Abuja, the next best primary health facility as it stands, and this was when Pitamba just clocked 1 year, 6 months, is Enugu. When that comment was made, in fact, you can go online and even check it. The primary health facilities in Nigeria, the ratings, you see that Enugu is actually one of the best, and that wasn't, the case in the past. So there is this deliberateness that this current administration has with trying to equip the primary health facilities, making sure that people get primary health care. I mean, I mean, taking it down to the grassroots. We're talking 260. My only fear, apparently, is the fact that we might have a bit of an issue with security. I mean, we have a major part of Enugu State that is not, that is, you can't really say that it's all secured, you know, so I'm hoping that that is also looked into. So if you're establishing the primary health facilities, you're also having them much more than building them, but equipping them and also getting in healthcare professionals. And by the way, speaking of healthcare professionals, I also heard that they have put out a circular for employment of 450 experienced health professionals in Enugu State. I mean, it's unprecedented, and haven't had anything like that across Nigeria. But this is happening in Enugu State. So I'm sure you have been seeing the pictures and videos that I've been posting. So it's just, so there are some that have reached 90%, there are some 80%, some that are still in 50%. Not all that are complete, but there is a timeline between now and say September or at most December of this year. Everything would have been complete. So I just needed to look at it. There's some pictures I gathered and some videos that I also put out that I thought will be of immense benefit to you, just in case you're looking for information about Enugu State. Thank you for watching. See you later. It's now becoming very obvious that the reason why Nnamdi Kanu is still being held in custody is because he's from the southeast. You know, these are the things that some persons would say, and it comes as though it is tribalistic. Yeah, because again, we are a tribal nation. We have always been a tribal nation. People put forth their ethnicity first before they put the fact that they are Nigerians. I mean, that is how this country has been built over the years. Our leaders are not even in any way trying to solve that problem. I mean, the last elections showed that, you know, that we thought we were a nation, but the result of the last election showed that we were far from being a nation. You know, these are the things that, you know, you would hear and see, especially as it concerns Nnamdi Kanu. And then you would start thinking, if this guy was a northerner, if this guy was actually from a southwest, would he be treated the same way that he's been treated? If he was truly a northerner, if he was from anywhere else aside the southeast, would he be treated the same way? Another example I want to give is the fact that a certain group, or what they mean, said they were releasing 31 states, proposed 31 state creation, upon the fact that the Southeast has 5 states. In a country where regions, North Central have 7 states, Northwest have 7 states, others have 6 states, the entire Southeast has just 5 states. But the 31 states that has been proposed to be created, which for me is dead on arrival, was basically saying that more regions that is not the Southeast should get more states than the Southeast that has been shortchanged for so many years. I mean, should I go on and on about these issues? It's so unfortunate, really. It's so unfortunate. This particular story, I mean, everyone knows about the Nnamdi Kanu case. It's shocking that Nnamdi Kanu basically schooled Binta Nyako and the counsel to the federal government in their own court. It's just like, you know how they say they beat you up in your own home. More like in sports, they will say they beat you for your own backyard. That's exactly what happened. it was clear that even Binta herself didn't even know what to do when Nnamdi Kanu was giving her facts upon facts. How do you recuse yourself from a case? And because someone else said, no, you have to go back to that case, you want to not take it up? I mean, the law is clear, for crying out loud. How come they're going back and forth about this matter? In fact, when I heard that they were even calling him, they ordered him to come to court on Monday, and Binta Nyako is going to be the one to take it over, I was thinking that this is not going to be right. This is, first of all, not right, and it's not adding up. How do you order somebody to come to court, and then the judge who is to take it up is someone who has recused herself since September last year? It is unheard of. It is stunning. Like this is happening in our very eyes, and everyone is quiet. Everyone is not saying anything. There is more. There's more to this, really. There's more, because again, but it does look like there is a grand plan. Like I mentioned in my previous video, maybe they're looking to use him for politics. That's exactly what it is. Peter Obi is actively in the presidential race for 2027. He has the numbers, at least with what we've seen in the last election. And so it becomes very difficult not to play that kind of politics, ethnic politics. The thinking is, how do I break Peter Obi in 2027? He has the Southeast backing him, and maybe, parts of South backing him, at least according to the numbers. So the only way to bust into that flame is basically to release Nnamdi Kanu just before the 2027 elections, so that it will look like he's a messiah. He released your brother, so give me the votes. That's my thinking. I might be wrong, but again, politicians, then they play politics with everything. So this one of those ping pongs that they do. So here's that video that Nnamdi Kanu went on a flurry. You would notice that these guys had nothing to defend themselves with. Absolutely nothing. Binta Nyako had nothing to say to Nnamdi Kanu, and even the counsel to the federal government had practically, you can tell that they were stunned at the knowledge that he has over the law. I don't know. You watch it. Thank you.
He did something in my case. I recused him. He was office official. I asked him to recuse himself. Why did the chief judge not insist I was right? He left my case.
Okay, listen. If anybody is not happy with this, then you need to go and
no, I cannot. Because I have a court order. You have recused yourself. I have a court order. Anybody who disagrees with this order of court, go to appeal court. That's what you tell me all the time. You are from official. You cannot preside over this case number again. Not in this life. You cannot. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. A woman here cannot force this court to preside on my case. You cannot. Not today, not in forever. You are recused and you stand recused. Tell the chief judge, Nnamdi Kanu said, go on appeal. I recused him from my case. The state recused Justice Adema from my case. I did not insist Adema must hear my case. I never insisted. So why must you insist to hear my case? I don't want you in my case. I don't need you in my case. You are biased. You are biased. You cannot be in my case. A woman should do the right thing. A chairman of the board of managers responsibility should resume propriety. Nowhere in the world such nonsense done. You cannot be hobnobbing with lawyers, hobnobbing with justices, and you're proceeding a case. It's shameful. Absolutely shameful. Shameful. This is a court of law. This is a shrine to injustice. And I will not subject myself to it. You stand recused and you must take my case. You cannot write me. This man is not paying attention. There is an order of recusal, and he's a senior advocate, for goodness sake. There's an order of recusal. Is that not the rule of law? The law says if you disagree with this, you go and appeal. You are a grown-up man.
His Lordship Peter will not try my case. Not on this planet Earth, I'm telling you that now. So stop wasting your time.
So that, as I said, the issue of the past, that the defendant has indicated that he will not make a formal application. I advise that the Lordship was a safety day for hearing.
You are not well. You are not well. I'm telling you, this is not well. This is an order of God. An order of God says, Justice Peter Nyako is recused to. An order of God. Order she made as an order. The same Chief Justice writing the stupid memo he's writing. I recused him. He was functus official. He sat on appeal. I took him to NJC. I recused him. Why did he not say I must sit on your case? Why in the case of his lordship is he insisting? He wants to embarrass her. He wants to embarrass your lordship by asking her to come and sit on this case. Is that what you're saying? There's an order of give it to him. He doesn't have it. Give him an order of court. It's an order of court. Give it to him. He doesn't have it. Give it. He doesn't have it. It's an order of court.
I take your permission.
It's an order of court.
I take your permission to address you. But let me tell the defendants that in everything life, there's need for wisdom. And wisdom is very important in this matter.
And tell him lies.
It is not right for you to be insulting the teacher.
If you insult yourself, I will insult you. If you have no respect for yourself, I will insult you. Because people are telling the law, when it comes to Nam, they can you turn the law upside down. The law says one thing. If the law says this paper is white, when I go to court, they say it's black. When I say it's black, they say it's white. Is that law? I'm asking you, a senior advocate of Nigeria, is that law? Is the memo from Chief Judge, is memo from Chief Judge sufficient to set aside and a court order? The answer is no. Why do you want to change the law in my own case? His Lordship, Justice Peter Nyako, stand recused in my case. Cannot try me. Why don't you get it? Give me your definite get for trial so you can do your mathematics you always do. People without shame. I have here before me for the benefit of Chief Awomono because it seems he doesn't know the law. So I will tell him, this is national judicial policy of this country. Please give them a copy each. National judicial policy of Nigeria, national judicial policy. I will tell you what it says.